Hey guys, it's me, Carrie. Good to see you. So, I just want to check in. I think I've been procrastinating enough. This week has been really, really busy, but for some reason, I've just been so all over the place with everything going on that I wasn't quite sure what I was going to film. So, here I am, and today I'm just going to let you guys know what's been going on this week. Yeah, so this week, I think I told you guys about last week about how my soul husband, Casey, and we work together. Oh, and by the way, let me just back up just a second here, too. I'm Carrie. If you haven't been to my channel before, welcome. Thanks for watching. I am stage 4 neuroendocrine cancer. My primary location is of the lung, and it has metastasized to my lymph nodes, bones, all sorts of places, liver, adrenal gland, just all sorts of places. Anyway, I'm done with chemo. I've been done now for 4 months. Check this out. So I kind of smushed my hair down, but look how that's growing back. So I'm not wearing my chemo curls today. I'm just wearing it kind of flat, but it's just because it's hot outside and I just felt like it, so whatever. But I've been really surprised about how my curls have been coming in. It kind of feels like little poodle perm curls kind of thing. That's so new for me. Before cancer, I had pretty wavy hair. I wouldn't call it curly, but definitely wavy. Now, when it's on its own and I don't smush it down and kind of straighten it out like this, it is really curly. So I heard that could happen with chemo, and I am happily surprised that it is. Also, this is the first time in my life of where I've had my hair natural. Before cancer, I am a hairdresser and also a barber, and I've always had my hair colored since I was about 9 years old. And that was because my mom never liked my natural hair color, so she started to change it. And for me, that meant a whole lifetime of a lot of self-healing, if that makes sense, of learning how to be good on my own without any type of extras, and why do I do the extras and so forth, just all sorts of good healing stuff with it too. Oh, and you can see too, look, my little the shadowing, my port is still like really showing. This little guy is the strangest thing. This is my port, and you can see the tube that leads all the way up to my neck there. They access this still, even though I'm not doing chemo right now. I'm still doing Zometa, which is a bone strengthener to try to help have the cancer not get into my bones as easily, which is kind of weird since I already have pelvic bone cancer, but so I don't know. I just follow the rules, whatever. On this one, we ended up doing a 6-month, every month Zometa, and now I just finally finished my last Zometa, so now I can do every 3 months. So that's kind of cool. The problem with this little guy, though, is that it's really loose and it flips all the time. So the nurses always have such a hard time getting any type of action from this. Usually it takes about 5 or more stabs at this guy. So it's kind of uncomfortable. But, the thing itself, the port, it doesn't hurt or anything. It's tender when you touch it, but, don't touch it very much. So this is also a little random note here too that I was thinking. In the next couple months, I am heavily considering getting a tattoo right here that says fight. I plan on having this guy in for quite a long time, as we are not sure if I will be doing chemo again over the winter. I swore I would never do chemo again. It was too much. It was too everything, It's a lot to put on my family. It's a lot to put on myself. I'm very removed from everything during chemo, even though I'm trying my hardest to stay involved. But now that my cancer is labeled stable, it really shook me up, I've talked about it on other videos that I've done with PTSD from that, and a lot of that PTSD for this comes from the part of I was given 6 months to live from my doctors, and then everything shifted. I felt a time of where like I had a choice in whether I was going to live or die, and I had to literally be praying about this and answering, why am I living? Why do I want to stay here? And that for me was a lot. It was so difficult. I mean, obviously you're going to assume that you're going to be alive, right? But for whatever reason, because when you're given a time of when you're going to die, you assume that you're going to die in it. You start making preparations for death. How will your kids go on? How will your partner go on? Where will money go? Will they be okay? So forth. And in Casey's career, we do our job together. We're both demonologists, which is the study of demons. It doesn't mean that we follow demons. Very different. We help families and people who have gone under a lot of demonic attack, and they've gone through the churches, they've gone through all sorts of different places until they're finally referred to us. And we have a very strict program to get rid of these demons that also requires 6 weeks fasting from their parts of theirs. It's not fasting from food, but it's fasting from all sorts of stuff, and we have a list for that. Anyway, so being a demonologist is really, really important, as we are here for love and light, and to spread good word, and to make sure that these families who are under oppression are out of that oppression. It's a huge deal. So also, I'm a Reiki master. My partner is a Reiki practitioner. Our assistant, Laura, she's just starting to train with her Reiki starting next week, which is awesome. She intends to be a Reiki master as well. So we do that, and we're energy healers. We do a lot of energy work and work with people with all sorts of disabilities and long-going pain and so forth. I actually get to receive a lot of energy healing and Reiki myself from Casey and also from Laura, which I really, really appreciate. So that's been part of my, okay, there is so much for us to do here on this plane, rather than me leaving and going somewhere else. There's so much for me to do that I don't want to leave, and I will do anything possible to stay here and be with my family, be with my kids, be with loved ones, help, raise the vibration of the general collective, and working on people, and where I get a lot of joy from that too. I would do that while I was a hairdresser as well, and part of it too that I would do is massage, which technically my licensing, I have a medical aesthetics license, but also that massage is not really considered a massage. We call it applying product. So with that too, that just means all sorts of energy work within those massages, and dang, they feel so good. You feel like an entirely new person. So with that, like I was saying, I had a time of where there was a shift of where I had to decide if I was going to live or pass. And like I said before, when you know that you're going to pass, you start making arrangements for that. And one of the dark things that happens during that process is really truly becoming at peace with dying, and what that means for your family and those that you are leaving behind, and your legacy that you leave behind as well, and coming to a point of where you have honest peace about it. That takes a lot of work. That's not just something you just wake up and do. Obviously death is very scary. It's not something that you think, oh yeah, I'm going to die soon, that sort of thing. That's not something you just do unless you have other stuff going on that I'm not going to mention. But in my case, dying has not been on the menu. So when it did come on the menu and I had to decide, the place that you have to go to get into that kind of peace, it's an experience I've never had to go through like that before. I have actually had near-death experiences in my past, but what happened recently was quite different, because this was like almost like a shift, a shift in circumstance of where I was living a life that I knew that I was going to die, as the doctors had, told me what and why and how, and that I only had a certain amount of time left, and preparing for that. And then also being in tons of prayer over that. I mean, cancer really, really has an opportunity to bring you close to faith and close to origins and why you do what you do and so forth, and really examine all of that. So that's been a really, really good thing, actually. But then, so I was given that choice, and then shifting into, no, I want to stay. This is why. This is, almost like pleading my case of why I should stay here instead of going. Although that's not really what happened, but, in my mind and processing and stuff, that's a little snippet of the process in that shift, if that makes sense. So my angels, my guardians, also Jesus too, very much present, helped me within that shift. And that shift was going from being at peace with death and what that all meant into living. So many times you hear people say, this is worth dying for, and so forth. What are you willing to die for? And we can give all sorts of reasons, our family, our loved ones, all sorts of reasons. But one of the most important question of that is, what are you willing to live for? Like actually live for. To make peace with, yes, death can happen, but you need to make peace with life, that life will happen. More like, I need to make peace that life will happen. What does that look like for me? What does that look like that I will keep having death opportunities come up? I will be told numerous times that I only have X amount of time to live, and why, and those are good reasons, so forth. But where I am right now in my life is, what am I living for? And so that has like really pushed me into roots of going back to, childhood, of all sorts of abuse, how I view myself, why I view myself the way I do, the origins of that, and actually making peace with that, so that way I can take who I am today and have that mean something as well. I mean, it's cliche. Our lives matter. We all know that. I hope you know that. In fact, I really do. But, we say that all the time. But the mechanics of how that works and what are you living for really needs to take charge of your whole being, your past, your present, your future, why do I choose to get a septum ring and a nose ring, and, wearing my hair as though I mean it. And even though it's short from Kino and I'm still kind of growing it out, but what if I kept it? What about it defines my femininity and how I feel about myself, how I feel towards others, and where my roots of compassion come from? It's so easy to express love and compassion, but it's so difficult to express that same love and compassion towards ourselves and mean it. We are all flawed in that. We are supposed to be. If we weren't flawed, we wouldn't have a reason to dig deep. And this is really important to me. So that's where I am this week. And I'll talk about all the rest of the stuff another time. I don't want to keep you guys too much, but this is what I'm really focusing on, is why do we want to live? What's in it for me? It's got to be something in there for you too. So I just thought I'd share that with you. It's been a really long week, but that's been the sum of my week too, with all the stuff going on, is really digging deep and defining all that love of why I am the way I am, and why I do what I do, and why I continue to do what I do and fight and that sort of thing, but also giving peace and grace to my past as well, and looking at the purpose within it. What do I need to take? What negative things don't serve me anymore and I need to leave behind? That's a lot harder to sift through than the first couple of times around, And we all need to continue to do that through our lives as well, because that's part of what gives our life meaning. So anyway, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for watching my channel today. If you like what I am talking about, go ahead and subscribe. I love having new subscribers. This channel is growing and I love that. Also click the bell so that way you don't miss any videos that I post in the future. I talk about all sorts of stuff. But I'm very transparent and vulnerable as well, and vlogging for me is just a real expression of gratitude and love and light. So I wish you all love and light. Thanks for joining me today. Mwah. Bye.